Okay, we're doing more of a fantasy tree, more whimsical. So I start at the bottom where it's attached. Um, oops. Wrong lead. Here we go. And I'm going to have it turn. Tree turn. And go up. So basically I'm putting, this is the anatomy of the tree. This line here is going to tell me which way I'm going to put the branches, which way the tree is being bent. And the thickness of the tree. Just like that. And we're going to have fun with the branches. So we can have this branch sort of turn. They're still Y shapes. Like that. We could have another one. This is the bare bones, the skeleton of the tree. Okay, a branch that goes this way. You can have another branch that on the other side of the tree trunk that sort of goes that way. But let's work on the tree trunk some more. Maybe we can make it thicker. Like that. And then we can give it some nice roots going up into this. You just throw some lines in there and see what comes out. Sometimes I just do that, I just throw lines in there. Not very dark, but and see what comes out. And over here we can have definitely some roots that are breaking the ground. Like that. Maybe this one that comes towards us. Here you could have like some trees have these, I don't know what you call them, these like big joints in them, growths. Now it's time to draw the leaves on this tree. So I'm gonna go ahead and make some shapes. Go ahead and erase these marks. There's too many of them. There. Now that pops in front of that tree trunk. I'll start with the leaves here and work my way to the right. I try not to connect them all. Because if you connect them all, it starts to look kind of goofy. And then we're going to do the leaves inside. Not all of them, just a few here and there. And then we're going to have some leaves that, rebellious leaves that come off of there. Let's say, like that, this little branch. Maybe just two there. You don't want to overdo it and have a bunch coming off because then it starts to look weird. You have the lighting coming from over here. We can shade this right side. And as we work our way this way, we shade less. And we start shading on little ovals. The little ovals will give us the effect of little leaves. Just like that. And then we can also put some shading here. And then we can darken this branch. Then I can shade this part of the tree and underneath here, because light is coming this way, so the shadow of these leaves would fall on this branch. So see how it starts to come alive? Shading, I love shading. There we go. And then we'll do the same thing here. And try to spread them out in different directions. Sort of underneath. And of course, let's darken this then, and this will be in shadow. And less shadow, there we go. So, it's starting to come around. Let's continue with this tree. And this branch could be in shadow there. So will this one. Less shadow work there. We got some parts of the tree that are sort of bumpy. And then this is where we did little details. Show how this branch is attached to that. And we can do these leaves here. You can also use this same idea for an explosion. It's basically the same idea. There. This could also be a shrub. Same idea. But you get the picture. I'm gonna do the whole thing. I bore you with tree stuff. And I would continue the whole thing. Now let's work on the tree trunk. Now I'm just choosing little areas to shade. And let's give this guy a bump here. And you notice I make some lines thick, and then it's really thin and thick again. It just adds to the drawing. You want to draw some thick ones, and then sort of really thin and thick again. You don't want a whole thick line all the way through, it just looks very stiff. So here I'm going to make this one thicker. It just adds so much to your drawing. I'm going to have this vein thing, root. I'm just making this stuff up. I mean, it's just fun stuff. You could put some grasses here. Let me erase this. Let me erase this area here, because I want some grasses going that way. I'll just get rid of that shading for now. I'll just leave some just plain grasses without shading. And I'll tell you why, because I'm going to put some shading in between those grasses, and then those grasses will pop up. Just like that, and then I could go darker there to pop the grasses. I'll go with the HB. And my teacher used to call these dynamic points. We have these little zingers, I call them. But it's dark and goes light. See, and all of a sudden you see the grasses that just pop out of there. Sort of neat. We'll continue with this dark. When you shade, do the same thing. Have some dark areas and then a little lighter. Because, you know, it's art and it should be interpretive. It shouldn't be realistic completely. Realistic is very boring to me. So you imagine if I made this whole thing dark, it just wouldn't look as interesting. So I'll make parts of it dark, then light, and then dark again. And then more shading and more shading. So there you have a whimsical tree, and let's add some little details. Let's say there's mushrooms on this thing. Some mushrooms. And guess what? There's some grass. It's got a little moss. Like that. Put some of the moss here. And we could have some that hangs down. See? And you start having fun with this, and you can put some frogs, whatever. Maybe you could put a pond here. A little pond. With some grasses. And some rocks. And then you start getting creative. Anyways, I hope you liked this tutorial on trees and leaves, and you could apply the same technique to shrubs.